Hello everyone, Mr. Gaff here, and today's video will be going over the Terran Republic Submachine guns. In the description you can find the time codes, which will lead you to certain sections of the video if you wish to skip around. So the SMGs came out in two series. The TR SMG from the first tier is the Armistice, while the Hailstorm came out in the second round. Both SMGs have automatic and semi-auto firing modes and cost 700 station cash or 1000 certs to purchase. Let's start off with a stats comparison. The damage drop-off on both guns is the same. The weapons do 125 damage per shot at 10 meters or less, and drop off to 84 damage at 50 meters. The short reload time of the Armistice is 2.275 seconds, and the long reload is 3 seconds. The Hailstorm has a surprisingly faster reload at 2.25 seconds for a short reload, and 2.8 seconds for a long reload. The ammo counts are the typical high level of the Terran Republic. The Armistice chambers 30 rounds with 150 in reserve, while the Hailstorm makes use of a 60-round magazine with an extra 240 waiting by. The recoil is limited with 0.15 degree recoil per shot and 2 times per shot multiplier on the Armistice. The Hailstorm is slightly higher at 0.2 degrees per shot with a 2 times per shot multiplier. The rate of fire of the Armistice is the highest in the game at 896 rounds per minute. The Hailstorm fires a bit slower at 800 rounds per minute. The Armistice's bullet velocity is 360 meters per second, while the Hailstorm's is 335 meters per second. The Armistice's time to kill is also fairly fast at 0.469 seconds, while the Hailstorm is again slower at 0.525 seconds. In terms of their actual gameplay performance, I'll start off with the general SMG attributes that apply across all factions. When the SMGs first came out, I figured they would be large magazine bullet hoses, but the first set turned out to be close-range automatic scout rifles. Unlike the scout rifles, however, they have better hipfire, greater damage, and a higher rate of fire. But like the rifles, their use is focused on the infiltrator class. The first set of SMGs are the ones better suited for the infiltrator class, for a couple of reasons. When I play infiltrator, I try to stay away from close range encounters since infiltrators don't have the strength to hold up in a firefight, in terms of health and shield. What I noticed one new conglomerate infiltrator on Helios do very successfully is sneak behind our assault at TI alloys, aim for a specific target, uncloak, take the person out extremely quickly, and get away safely. This role is better suited for the first tier of SMGs since they don't need the spray and pray capabilities of the second tier. The second set of SMGs are better for light assaults, combat medics, and heavy assaults, who want a greater rate of fire in close quarters. Unlike the infiltrators, these classes will have the capabilities to stay alive long enough to empty their entire magazines and can't cloak every time they need a reload. The infiltrators also don't depend on ammo so much since they always can hack a terminal and resupply, meaning they don't need the extra round that the second tier of SMGs provide. The situations in which I found the SMGs most effective over other weapons were when I wanted a high-clip bullet hose as a light assault or was hacking a turret as an infiltrator. It's really a successful feeling when you can hack a turret, kill the previous operator, and then punish the prowlers as they come back to resupply after their HE shell whoring. What impressed me the most about the SMGs was their precision at range. You can go through half your ammo supply to kill a single person, but these shots will land at range, making the SMGs a more versatile close-range weapon than the shotguns. Now those are the general attributes of the different SMGs, but they don't always apply the same for each faction. For the TR, their differences are far from center. However, I'll keep it quick since the clips you have already been seeing are quite dreadful, I know. I was thinking of stealing someone else's footage for these reviews since my experience with these guns was just terrible. The main issue is that I try to aim down my sights for so many of those kills, and I want you all to promise me that you will just hit fire away if you ever decide to pick up the SMGs, because aiming down your sights is the wrong idea. Back to the differences the TR SMGs have from the norm. I was surprised to find that the Hailstorm had a faster reload time, although by a minimal margin, given that it also has the larger magazine size. On top of that, it also doesn't share the trend of having a faster rate of fire in this faction's respective first tier SMGs. So you have to decide for yourselves whether you'd prefer a couple extra rounds and a slightly faster reload, or a faster rate of fire, less recoil, faster projectile velocity, and faster time to kill. Given by the obvious bias I put in the question, you should be able to tell that I prefer the Armistice. The attachment choice for both weapons is fairly straightforward. Soft point ammunition is the first thing you should invest in, given that it will improve your maximum damage range to 15 meters. The next choice is whether you would like a laser dot or extended mags. For the Hailstorm, this is an easy choice, since extended mags is not available. For the Armistice, however, you need to figure out if you can live without the larger clip size. I know the Terran Republic likes their bullet spam, but as a technologically driven VS man myself, I would go with the laser dot. Since I don't want any of you guys even using a sight on this weapon, I'm not going to cover the optics. Which leaves me at whether or not you want a silencer. That's entirely up to you, and we will use on the flank. It will remove you off the radar and 5 meters damage range. But some new players rely on the sound that your close or the low velocity bullets may give you away anyways, even if you do have a silencer. As for the rating, I'm giving the Armistice a 6.5 and the Hailstorm a 4. The Armistice could get a higher rating given that it does noticeably have the faster rate of fire, yet my in-game experience with it does not portray it as the great weapon the stats would have me believe. I was really disappointed with the Hailstorm, and I couldn't make use of the high magazine size given the reload was so quick to begin with. That's not really a negative, but it's just something to keep in mind. The ammo count isn't that important with such a quick reload. I do have to say though that my experience with both these weapons was somewhat limited, so if you have a different perspective, please share it in the comments. These ratings are not set in stone, and I would be happy to be persuaded one way or another. And that's it for this weapon review. Next will be the bolt-action snipers and the long-range carbines, followed by some NC weaponry since I seem to be disregarding some of their guns. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.